Well, get up and let's get things rolling.
Because it's the hour of 6. It's time to wake up, Nigeria.
Yeah, the week has been not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. We're right in the middle of the week now, and we're still going.
Yes,
still going. And December is moving on really fast, really quickly.
We're moving that much closer to Christmas. It's just creeping up on us. And you really need to stay tuned to TVC throughout this season because you're not going to regret it. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. The lady you're seeing in the kitchen over there is Tokwe, and
Yes,
she's
Hey, hi.
doing a thing.
How's it going?
Very well.
All right then.
Yeah, so we're streaming live right now at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook. You can check us out at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments as soon as you can with our social media handles, all of them at TVC Connect with our hashtag WakeUpNigeria.
You can also download our mobile app from Android and iOS stores. And this app means that you can watch us from anywhere in the world. Just search any of the app stores with TVC Connect and you'll find us.
So somebody somewhere.
We'll bring you the first musical performance for this morning, and that will be from Abate. And he's going to be doing a song for us called All I Want.
Anita Ekeata-Onumere is a uniquely skilled interior designer and the creative director of Interior by McCoy. She'll be joining us on our home makeover segment to discuss decorating ideas for Christmas.
And then more music coming your way this morning, this time from Lil Steve.
Relaxing on the flight. We on the go, no time to come the fight. Drive to the step and make sure that you ride. Grab it to dance, grab it to move.
Certified personal nutritionist Adidamola Ladejobi is going to join us soon. And she's going to be talking about the relationship between stress and weight loss. Yes, Ask Dams is going to give out tips on the best way to stay healthy during this festive period. We also have marriage counselor Damilola Shoderu. Now she is going to be talking about planning the best Christmas proposal on relationship segment today. Christmas proposals. So that's Damola.
Yeah, and finally joining us this morning, the current Mr. Universe World. Well, will be joining us for a chat. His name, oh goodness. His name is Emmanuel Arigboriche.
Why did you comment like that, Yoms? Why?
What?
Yeah, he's just showing.
I didn't know
us-
they'd be putting that kind of photo up.
What?
Yeah, but you know.
It's impressive. That's the word I'll use. An impressive picture.
Did it pain you, Yomi?
What?
Did it pain?
Oh no, I've been going to the gym, so I'm sure that I don't have any
He's a
issues.
fitness-
Take your own
Buffalo.
picture now, let's see.
I don't have any issues in that area.
Proud much.
But
Okay, so this pin.
Yeah.
Can somebody explain? I think it's the for fallen soldiers, armed forces. So it's sort of like remembering the armed
Yes,
forces,
and paying our respects.
paying our respects to the dead, to fallen soldiers.
The unknown soldier.
Yeah,
That
and then
soldier
also-
that, went
Yeah.
to the war front and defended this nation. And,
Exactly.
that's why we wear these pins.
Yeah, so they're very nice and just a way of remembering and showing our support. It's also very good. It's like being what's that word now? Patriotic.
Yeah.
Patriotism. Yeah, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Remembering.
I feel
the
like I'm
soldiers.
doing something really inspiring for
Aw.
the first time.
Do you have any like soldiers in your family, young or old?
Oh, my cousin is one.
Okay.
Sam, even though he's the only son. His dad is he's retired now. So when he said he wanted to go into the army, like all of us were like, yo,
Only son. Yeah.
bro. And then he was such a sweetheart growing up, like very calm and sweet. But when I went home recently, he was just like a man.
So it was different.
He's different. I don't know what they do to them, but he's definitely groomed to be there. Like he's no more soft.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is he recently became an air commodore, and it's very well. I don't want to say the word very strange, but when I met him, not not too long ago, actually, maybe about 9 years ago, he was a squadron leader.
Okay.
So, squadron leader, and now he's moved 4 places within a short period of time. Squadron leader, then he became a wing commander, then he became a group captain. Now he's an air commodore. So that's amazing. And he's still, what, like 44?
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
That's all those
wow.
stars.
Yeah, so he's got 1 star.
Oh, okay. Just another below stars.
No, he's got 1 star now. So he start getting stars from air commodore.
Oh,
So that's his
okay.
first star. So that's
So
yeah.
one thing I've noted about the armed forces is the discipline of it all. And
Yeah.
there's a certain amount of discipline that, especially in the US, for instance, for a lot of black men on the streets, it's either they go the wrong way or they go into the armed forces. So it was a way of keeping the young men straight and keeping them focused and determined, and then of course patriotic. So it kind of felt like 2 different sides of a coin. So it's either you kill on the street with the gangs and all that, or you go to war and do it.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
kind of
I
felt
like
weird.
I like it in Nigeria because you rarely see people forced to go to the army.
Yeah.
Most of them willingly want to go to the army.
Yeah.
I think it's really impressive. It's not because
There's
there's
some countries-
nothing to do on the streets.
There's some countries
Yeah.
it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. Yeah, like places like Lebanon, you have to at least spend 1 year. Yeah, full year in the army. And it's just, both the guys
A
and
lot of
girls.
countries that have seen conflicts
Girls as well.
have it that way. And in fact, when there's a lot of pressure on the armed forces, they even reduce the age. Sometimes you then
Scary.
find 16-year-olds going into the army because there's war going on, and you want all the hands that you can find. So
It's a scary thought.
Back in the days during the Civil War in America, people were hiding their sons.
Oh, yeah.
So you will say, how many sons do you have? You say 4. Meanwhile, you have like 6, but the other 2 are too young. And so it was treason for you to hide your sons during the war. You have, like, all your sons have to join the army. It was tough, really tough.
Okay, so I think on that note, we should head over for our news update. Ibrahim, it's all yours.
Right, welcome to the news. We'll start the news with reports that residents of Romego, a town in the Askira Uba local government area of Borno State, who fled their community out of fear, are gradually returning home. Suspected members of Boko Haram carrying rocket-propelled guns attacked the town on Tuesday evening, forcing residents to take refuge in nearby bushes. But the military challenged the invaders and took control of the situation. It is not yet clear what the scale of violence is at this time, but a shopping complex and some homes are said to have been set ablaze by the fighters. Poor telecoms service initially hindered communication with the affected community of Romego. Now, 4 committees of the House of Representatives are to investigate the Department of State Services' alleged invasion of the Federal High Court last Friday. The resolution is sequel to a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Minority Leader Ndudi Elumelu. The Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Judiciary and Human Rights are to conduct the probe and report back in 2 weeks.
That the invasion of the Federal High Court, Abuja, runs contrary to the avowed assurances of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The physical assaulting of Mr. Shore and his co-defendant Bakari by the yet to be identified persons inside the courtroom is the highest act of sacrilege against the judicial arm of government and a complete disrespect to the rule of law.
The coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Shore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammad Buhari to show commitment to the rule of law or face mass action and civil disobedience. The CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. Hundreds of women have taken to the streets of Gombe to advocate against all forms of gender-based violence. The women are led by the wife of the Gombe State Governor, Asmao Inua Yahya, through the streets of the capital city to the State House of Assembly, where they made their demands to lawmakers. Our correspondent Lara Diemi was with the women and has this report.
Violence against the vulnerable, especially women and children, is on the rise. The case of a 12-year-old boy raped by his instructor is still fresh, and the outcry it's generated. The wife of Gombe State Governor is leading these women through the streets of Gombe, demanding an end to gender-based violence.
We are crying and we are saying no to violence against women and girls.
It's very, very rampant among girls, especially in Gombe State. That's why we come out in mass in order to come and complain.
Our daughters, they have been having a lot of problems, especially the issue of rape. It is very terrible and it is a wicked act, and we say no to it.
They later took their agitation to the state's legislature to press on their demands. They also seek the domestication of the Child Rights Act. They consider this piece of legislation a wall of protection for the vulnerable, which would also help to prevent stigmatization.
The perpetrators of violence against women and children, especially girls, are aware that the Child Rights Act has not been domesticated in many states of the Federation, and therefore take advantage of this opportunity to perpetrate their nefarious activities, thereby causing pain to victims and members of their families.
Before you come to the House of Assembly, the law is on process to enact and demonstrate the law that will stand against the raping.
By the time you bring yourself out that something like this has happened to you, people will start seeing you and you will be marginalized, you know. They will start seeing you as if you are no longer part of the society.
Gombe State records an average of 730 rape cases every year. Rights groups say this number may be higher as many victims stay silent. These women say they are committed to this fight until the law and society adequately protects those that need it the most. Lanre Adeyemi, TVC News, Gombe.
And that's it on the news update for this hour. Weather update is up next.
Indeed. Now we have the Nation newspaper starting us off this morning with the headlines, and we're going to start with this. It says, Oshomole, Wike trade punches over polls rights. APC, PDP accuse each other of hypocrisy. It also says here, no bitterness. Interesting photo story here of Secondus on the left and Oshomole on the right yesterday. Very interesting picture there. Senate probes 20 trillion naira worth of unremitted stamp duty cash. Electricity workers begin their strike. Page 8 has more on that. Right at the top of the page here, it says, George defies PDP over Lagos crisis. Case for hearing Friday. Governors to federal government bring 49 billion naira oil thieves to book. And finally, police parade killers of PDP women leader. Suspect confesses to arson. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Daily Sun this Wednesday morning. Catholic bishops angry over injustice, blame it for unrest in the country. And Showore reps probe DSS invasion of court. Senate keeps mum. Rights group wants DG sacked. Why we burnt PDP women leader to death. Ocholi gang leader. And APC PDP clash over Buhari. Federal government not practicing what it preaches, says Wike. And president has moved country forward, replies Oshomole. And Buhari names new AMCON chairman. And Southeast, Ebonyi leads in fertility, infant mortality. And finally, we have a photo story on the cover of the Daily Sun here. President Muhammadu Buhari with the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria, Assem Habafi El Sefi, who is right there, the Inspector General of Police. And all of this was yesterday in Aswan, Egypt. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
I find that very ironic, the story on Ebonyi there, leading in fertility and then also in mortality.
The more children born, the more children die.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to The Punch. And The Punch has this headline: Nigeria to spend 750 billion naira on fuel subsidy in 2020. NNPC to incur additional 300.81 billion naira payments. Marketers, Pengasan wants subsidy stopped. Now, there's a photo story here, and it says, Buhari, 3 governors off to Egypt for peace forum. Right at the bottom here, it says, forgive me, Fayose begs aggrieved Ekiti PDP members. Retired major guarding Lagos refinery dies in guest house. NHRC takes Nigeria's rights abuses to international bodies. Right beside the masthead there, it says, Senate probes CBN over 20 trillion naira worth of unremitted stamp duty. And finally, NIS registers 61,137 migrants. Reps seek illegal aliens deportation. Now, that is a lot of migrants. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what we have on the cover of The Punch.
Now, we've got the Nigerian Tribune here with the headline, Tribune Agent of National Unity, say awardees from the Tribune event yesterday. And we were contracted to deal with slain Kogi PDP woman leader, says suspect. And Showore reps order probe of DSS over court invasion. Respect rule of law, UK tells federal government. Disquiet over Banire's removal as AMCON chairman. And Buhari seeks Senate's confirmation of Nani, others for FIRS board. And our free education policy doesn't cover WAEC NECO payment, or your government says. And that's what we have on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune.
I think we have a few minutes for The Guardian. It says here, how 265 government agencies violated fiscal audit rules. MDAs in fresh misappropriation over 300 billion naira. BPE, SEC, CAC, Foreign Ministry, varsities involved. And the story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Right beside the photo story here, it says Senate begins probe 20 trillion naira unremitted stamp duties. It seems to be the story on most of the papers this morning. Motion for vote of confidence in Lawan fails. Moving to the bottom of the page here, it says, Reps move for local councils' autonomy, urge action on illegal immigration. It also says, we're closely monitoring Shorere's case, EU cautions. Why oil gas pipelines vandalism persists in Nigeria, according to stakeholders. And finally, gunmen kill 400-level student of Kogi varsity. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
We've got this day here with the headline, House renews move to separate office of AGF from Justice Minister. And Amokapemu narrates publishers' efforts to secure Showere's release. NNPC proposes measures to curb crude theft and vandalism. And CBN electronic payments hit 424 trillion naira in 9 months. Wow. 70% LDR before end of 2020. And 8 discos await fate as NERC reviews responses to queries. And finally, on the newspapers this morning, we have a photo story of the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, with the Crown Prince of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, in Abu Dhabi yesterday. So the president is out, and the vice president is out as well. Oh, wow, that's very...
It makes you ask.
That's a new one.
You know, it makes you ask a question.
Who's in charge?
Who's running the country right now?
Yeah, well, it moves to the Senate president, which didn't happen under Saraki, but yeah.
Yeah, well, hey.
Anyway, that's about all that we can take on the newspaper headlines. We'll be back with the traffic situation in Lagos.
Welcome. It's time for us to give you a little update with regard to traffic. We like nothing better than giving you information that will come in handy for you, especially at a time like this. And when it comes to the traffic situation, it could be, you know, topsy-turvy sometimes, but hopefully this information will help you get to your destinations faster. You can also assist others by sending updates using the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. I'm starting, as always, from Bega bus stop. That is where most people come through into Lagos, and it's like a gateway. It's like an open door, you know, just everybody starts flooding in from there. But if you're leaving Bega bus stop right now and heading towards the island, the first bus stop I can think of is Marina, and it's going to take you about 50 minutes. Now, that is quite fast for a weekday morning, and being a Wednesday, I would take advantage of this information and get moving right now. If you pass through the Bagada bypass, that's through Oworo, you will not have any issues getting to your destination in 50 minutes. Now, if you should decide to take Ikeja, you're going to be adding another 15-20 minutes to your journey, so I would stick to the Bagada Expressway. And of course, go on to Western Avenue, which takes you past the stadium and past Alaka. Once you pass through there, you're heading on to Eco Bridge. Once you do that, you are going to be in Marina soon. You'll have maybe about 10-15 minute delay around Alaka, but once you're on the bridge, it's home free. And hopefully Yomi and Tokwe have some updates from social media.
Yes, I do. Don't know about you yet. Okay, so just to buttress what you said, from Traffic Butter, they said Bega Inward Chinatown, currently good to go, and this was at about 5 minutes ago. Allen Inward Secretariat, currently good to go. Now we have extremely heavy traffic currently at Alakija bus stop along Badagry Expressway. Kindly seek alternative routes. Please avoid Odo Iya Alaro to Maryland. Okay, Odo Iya Alaro, pardon me, please, to Maryland. If you're coming from Ojota or Ikorodu, link up Charlie Boy and Tony to connect Ikorodu Road.
Exactly.
Yes, before I spoil more names, I will just keep quiet.
Oh boy. I just wanted to take one or two updates here. You were talking about the Bega axis that has been busy. One or two people are commenting on that, and also the Ojota axis as well. A few people are commenting on the fact that it's still very slow paced and still very choked. And hopefully that should ease off. But many of the roads are being opened up now. I think they're fixing them as fast as they can. Oh, yeah. Dokpemo Under Bridge has been blocked, and people are complaining that no warning or consideration at all. That they just woke up in the morning and they just discovered that they were going, and then it was blocked, and then people had to be turning around. So.
And the alternative route for that particular area is so far away.
Yeah,
such a turn.
So people are not happy. So they're also tagging. I'm seeing that they're tagging the follow Lagos State government handles and all of that. So just so people can be more aware before they get to that point and then have to turn back. Yeah. So that's the update we have from here.
All right, hopefully that information has helped someone out. Where if you're heading east along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, you know it's often a really interesting journey. There's actually an in-house joke that a lot of people like to say they're living on the island when they're living in Ajah. Man, I'm not sure about that anymore because oftentimes it takes about 2 hours to get from Ajah all the way to Victoria Island. And the last bus stop before you leave VI is Bonny Camp. But today, it's going to take you about 57 minutes if you leave now. The major trouble spots being Chevron, after Chevron Tollgate, past the Chevy View Estate, past the Lekki Conservation Center. Yeah, that's a bit of a delay there, about a 20-minute delay. I have to say it's a scary looking delay. Then the junction before Freedom Way, which takes you into Lekki Phase 1 to where Admiralty Way and the like are. Yes, that particular junction is tight right now. But once you pass through there, it'll free up until you get to Marua Bus Stop. Now, Marua Bus Stop is that squarish roundabout, that really big roundabout, and it does seem to slow down. There's an alternative route there a lot of people use to avoid the Phase 1 toll gate, but we're not being advised to take there right now. It'll take you longer. It's actually quicker for you to go into the Lekki Phase 1 toll gate traffic, and you'll be getting to Bonny Camp in 57 minutes if you leave Ajah right now. And hopefully that information has been helpful. Please make sure you keep those updates coming with our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. I'll be heading into the kitchen now. Guys, what are we talking about?
So, Christmas is coming.
Yes.
And I remember, I don't know whether that still happens now, in the 80s and early 90s, when Christmas is around the corner, there's something called, your Christmas outfit that you wear on Christmas Day. So I don't know if that happened with you as well.
Yo, I know you are my dad. But yes, please.
How am I your dad?
As in,
okay, so
as in 80s and early 90s. Yes.
Okay.
We 2000 children.
Okay, so your Christmas shoes, socks,
yes, bag and cap,
bag, yeah, everything
and I had
perfect
my
for church. For
and they
church
all matched.
on
Even
Christmas.
the bag was made from the material of my dress.
Okay, I don't know about that one, but it's usually like standard
Yes.
for most homes to have Christmas outfits.
Clothes, yes.
But there's some times when you see maybe some of your colleagues or some of your friends and all of that, and maybe they didn't have Christmas clothes this year. Then so okay, this year wasn't so good.
You feel like they are suffering.
Yeah.
At that point. I remember one year when I think I turned 11, and my grandparents didn't buy me Christmas clothes, and I was so upset. I told them it was not Christmas Day. It was not. It could not be Christmas Day
without.
And then my grandmother was like, "Oh no, you've grown," and I'm like, "No, I haven't grown." And it took a while for me to start arranging my mind that on Christmas Day I'm going to go to church and tell my friends that it's a mature thing to not wear Christmas clothes.
No, but I remember growing up as well, especially in the north. So there were some parts of the north where when there weren't any religious tensions, and the Muslims would celebrate Christmas with the Christians, and some of them would even dress up as well and go to people's houses.
And eat food.
Exactly. Until things now began to change. I don't know why. I don't know what began to cause those religious tensions. So back then it was, you would go to on Saturday you would dress up and go to your friend's house to eat, and on Christmas Day they would dress up and come to your house.
It was celebration.
Exactly.
There wasn't really anything that made you feel like you should stay away from these people until the riots and the rest started.
So when the riots started, and those really just
I was going to take it back to the clothing thing, the Christmas outfits thing. So I've said this thing quite a few times. I grew up in the UK, and there was nothing like Christmas clothes.
Oh, you missed.
There was only your new Christmas sweater. So every Christmas there will be a sweater. A new sweater with either a snowman or Father Christmas.
She's
so when we eventually came back to Nigeria, then there was this, you must buy something really special for.
Yes.
I didn't really get it, but it was fun to shop. It was fun to have new clothes, but it wasn't really a thing. So I think it has something to do with the environment, and then again, because there are always events, there are always parties. So if you're going for a party, you have to have a nice new outfit to go to that party with. So I'm thinking about my kids now, actually.
Oh, you better do it for them.
Yeah, it's not about not doing it or doing it. I just realized that even the schools, the church gatherings, and they're kind of like reasons for you to actually go out and make sure you have those new clothes now,
okay.
as opposed to, just having it. But then again, someone has been trying to encourage me to completely empty my wardrobe. I mentioned this about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Decluttering. And it's freaking me out. I don't know.
I did see a celebrity on Instagram, and the way she did hers was very inspiring, because she said she was going to sell her clothes, and then she put it on her Instagram page so you would see the prices, and you'd see original designers for very cheap prices. And then what got me was, she said the money she's going to get, she's going to give it to, I think, an orphanage, to charity for the Christmas. For the Christmas season, and I thought that could just probably be the best thing to do.
I think I'm gonna have to. It's still freaking me out though. But
why? I don't know. Why is it?
So I don't know. So getting rid of. Okay, so I say getting rid of.
Letting go.
I can remember letting go. That's the word. I think
go.
I have an issue with letting things.
Oh, letting things go. Okay, because you just feel like you're going to need it.
Because I just feel like
some point.
And then 2 years later, you don't want the dress. Okay, I don't actually need this dress. But then sometimes fashions come back, and you're like, oh, but I have this now, and you not go back. But
Fashion forward.
No, let things go.
Oh, no, I think this Christmas season we should try to do something different. Like what I decided to do was, I was not going to monies I'm going to get. Usually I just send monies to my younger ones and like my younger cousins. But I decided to take an extra effort to look for people that are doing charity work this Christmas and give. So every week I find, okay, there's someone I gave last week. They're feeding widows. So I've done that. Next week, I'm going to find something else. I just feel like
that's very good. I mean, giving back is one of the most important things that remind us that we're humans and we have the milk of human kindness, which is really, really important, because there will always be poor people around us, even if a country is rich. So what happens is that usually the poor rely a lot on the rich to survive. And beyond them just begging in traffic and all of that, there are just like various welfare programs and social safety nets that can help the poor just survive periods like this, where they also feel like they're part of the country. So things like this are important. People giving 5,000, 10,000 to support.
Yes, to support.
Even orphanages and
even
things
if you
like
don't have that, I can still remember a few years ago, my husband and I drove around Ikeja with a Ghana Must Go filled with plates of food. So there was food, like about 100 packs of jollof rice and chicken. And we're just going around. Anyone we see, we just like give them food. And the look on their faces, I didn't believe it. They were so happy. See prayers, see like people will pray, people will shout, people will like, hey. I was like, it's food.
I think it makes you, it takes you back to think about the things that really matter in life. Makes you feel like, because I and my fiance did that for his birthday a few months ago, and it took me to a point where I'm like, you don't finish your food all the time, and then you needed to sit there, they were scrambling for this food, and I'm just like, we should be thankful for the things that we have.
We are going to be doing a lot of giving this season on Wake Up Nigeria, that's for sure. And we're going to give you a chance to take a break with us and be back shortly. Now, Wednesday is not such a bad day.
Yeah, because it tells us that, another Friday is close by.
Yeah, very close.
Well, at least that you're making progress. Well, Monday's gone, Tuesday's gone, halfway through the week.
And of course, another fresh edition of Wake Up Nigeria is here as well. So,
thank you again for being a part of the show. 1 hour has gone by already, but we are still here. My name is Yomi Olope.
And I'm Titi Layo Oyin. So now you have the option to stream with us if you need to be somewhere. tvcentertainment.tv is the website.
And of course, we're on Facebook as well, at TVC Connect. Just join us live right now if you have to.
Send in those comments as soon as you can. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And of course, download our mobile app for both Android and iOS stores.
Of course, the app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
We have, of course, an amazing kitchen, and our kitchen is always manned, or should we say womaned, by amazing chefs. Tokla is standing by for our chef.
Yes, I am standing by. And this, I'm really enjoying it.
You should, I mean, the thing you should be doing, which would have impressed me, is if you had something going already. Like if you were boiling water at least.
Wow,
Yomi.
Wow, Yomi. I didn't know I was now your PA. I should be boiling water. But you know what's going on here? This December, we have an interesting lineup of different dishes that all the chefs are making that could be a Christmas alternative dish.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Christmas alternative dishes. So if you weren't doing rice during this Christmas, what would you do? That's a good question. So use the hashtag WakeUpNigerianTVC and let us know what it might be.
Very interesting question there. We had vegan food yesterday. Vegan food. Yeah, that's a menu you should look out for. But we're going to be bringing you quite a bit today still.
Yeah. First is the musical performance, which we promised earlier. And this one's going to be from Abeti.
Everything that's rated better than my ex-girl deserving.
Song title is All I Want, and that'll be interesting. Still to come, we have the creative director of Interior by McCoy, and the CEO will be joining us on our makeover segment. We'll be discussing decorating ideas for Christmas. Everyone needs some Christmas inspiration this year.
Then we're going to have more music coming, this time from Lil Steve.
Certified personal nutritionist at Didamola Ladijobi, Ask Dams, is going to be here, joining us to talk about the relationship between stress and weight loss, giving out tips on the best way to stay healthy this festive period.
Marriage counselor Damilola Shoderu will be joining us on the show this morning, talking about planning the best Christmas proposal on relationship. Christmas proposal.
So
as a proposal for marriage.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Doing it at Christmas, I guess.
So, will you marry me at Christmas? Right.
I don't know whether all the season's festivities might make people a little more mushy.
Oh, yeah.
And more romantic.
So you ask somebody to marry you at Christmas, then by January you're having a rethink.
It's not Valentine's Day, it's Christmas.
Right, okay.
And lastly, we have the current Mr. Universe Nigeria World. Now he'll be joining us for a chat. His name is Emmanuel Arigboritishe.
Yeah.
All right. There's not much time to talk.
Yeah, so I was saying post-proposal remorse.
Really?
So the one at Valentine's Day I get.
Okay, so somebody proposes on Valentine's Day and then maybe after that.
I don't like Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Cliche.
Yeah, well, not really cliche. Not really cliche. A lot of people get pregnant after Valentine's and then now start having babies around like October, November, December, that kind of thing. So I know that there must be a lot of proposals. Hopefully it's proposals, not just babies. You know, but it's interesting. It's interesting.
Very interesting. But we have taken the news now, and Ibrahim is on standby for us.
Welcome to the news again. We start the news with reports that residents of Rumego, a town in Askira Uba local government area of Borno State, who fled their community out of fear, are gradually returning home. Suspected members of Boko Haram carrying rocket-propelled guns attacked the town on Tuesday evening, forcing residents to take refuge in nearby bushes. But the military challenged the invaders and took control of the situation. It's not yet clear what the scale of violence is at this time, but a shopping complex and some homes are said to have been set ablaze by the fighters. Poor telecom service initially hindered communication with the affected community of Rumego. 4 committees of the House of Representatives are to investigate the Department of State Services' alleged invasion of the Federal High Court last Friday. The resolution is sequel to a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Minority Leader Ndudi Elumelu. The Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Judiciary and Human Rights are to conduct the probe and report back in 2 weeks.
The House aware that the invasion of the Federal High Court Abuja runs contrary to the avowed assurances of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The physical assaulting of Mr. Shore and his co-defendant Bakari by the yet to be identified persons inside the courtroom is the highest act of sacrilege against the judicial arm of government and a complete disrespect to the rule of law.
And a coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Shore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammad Buhari to show commitments to the rule of law, face mass action and civil disobedience. The CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. Hundreds of women have taken to the streets of Gombe to advocate against the forms of gender-based violence. The women are led by the wife of the Gombe State Governor, Asmao Inuwa Yahya, through the streets of the capital city to the State House of Assembly, where they made their demands to lawmakers. Violence against the vulnerable, especially women and children, is on the rise. The case of 12-year-old boy raped by his instructor is still fresh, and the outcry it's generated is still fresh. The wife of Gombe State Governor is leading these women through the streets of Gombe, demanding an end to gender-based violence. They later took their agitation to the state legislature to press home their demands. They also seek the domestication of the Child Rights Act. They consider this piece of legislation as a wall of protection for the vulnerable, which will also help to prevent stigmatization. Gombe State records an average of 730 rape cases every year. Rights groups say this number may be higher as many victims stay silent. These women say they are committed to this fight until the law and society adequately protect those that need it the most. And that's the news update for this hour.
Okay, so we are in the kitchen this morning with the beautiful Chef Yede.
Good morning.
How you doing, darling?
Fine.
So we're done with all our beefing. We're best
Yes.
friends, and now we're making our best friend Christmas
Whoa.
coconut rice. So before we start and run through our ingredients, I'd like you to just quickly tell our viewers a run-through of how to make their own coconut milk.
Okay, so basically, good morning, before I forget to say hello. So in case you don't like to buy the regular ones that are already made, you can just grate your coconuts, put some water in it, and then extract the milk from it. And then you can get the freshly made coconut milk instead of the already made one.
And this is healthier.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's have a run-through of what we're using to make our coconut rice this morning.
So we have the parboiled rice.
Okay.
We have the paprika, some garlic and salt. I have some tomato paste.
Oh, okay.
My special spice.
This special
and then the
spice.
Maggi, seasoning cube.
Yeah.
And then some salt as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to be serving it with a lollipop chicken, which is for the chicken wings, some egg crumbs, and some flour for the
So you say
chicken
lollipop chicken. What, please, layman description.
Okay,
What
so
is
it's
that?
like, I'm going to cut this chicken, put a little oil in the bone, squeeze it down a bit, and then marinate it.
Oh, okay.
Roll it in some breadcrumbs and some coconuts.
So how do
flour.
we get breadcrumbs?
I got this one already made.
Oh, already made.
Yes,
So it's not possible to make it
you
at home?
can, basically. I like to use like sliced bread. When you buy like bread that you've kept for a bit, maybe like 2-3 days and it's dry, you can just crumble them, or you can pop them in the oven, dry them out, and then crumble them as well, depending on what
so
you want.
it achieves the same thing as
but it's just that this is more, this is better because it's drier.
It's drier.
Yes, and it's fast to use.
So now we have coconut shavings here.
I'm going to pop that in here.
Okay.
Because we're having a coconut rice.
Yeah.
So it's going to be served with the coconut lollipop chicken.
Okay, so now, for the people at home who want to make this, because now we have a lot, we have plantain. Now, is that going to be in the rice or fried separately?
It's going to be at the side.
At the side, okay. So now this would cost them approximately how much? Because this is like a new variety for Christmas.
Yeah, well, you have your rice. Your rice is not really that expensive, depending on how much you want. Chicken wings is actually cheap. It's not on the high side.
Okay.
I'm using this heritage carrot for some garnishing, but you don't have to use that. This is quite expensive.
I was going to say.
It's called rainbow carrots. It's like the
different colors.
Different color carrot that they use for like fine dining and everything. So it's quite expensive, but you can get the regular carrots if you really want carrots.
Okay.
Or you can just omit that. And then you have your bell pepper for the sauce or not. Basically, the things here are not really expensive at all. Maybe about 5,000 naira.
5,000 naira. Okay, so for Christmas, you could have a nice coconut rice with 5,000 naira. That shouldn't be bad. Okay, so we're going to...
Not for one person.
It's not, of course, it's not for one person. This could feed like a very nuclear family. Okay, so we're going to start. But since we have this parboiled already, what are we starting with?
I'm going to do some cuttings for the onions and then pop that in and then let it start to cook.
Okay. Okay, so while Chef Yede starts the cutting, we're going to go on a quick break and we will be right back.
Welcome back. Now, this is the Christmas season, and Anita Ikiata Onwumere is a uniquely skilled interior designer with over half a decade's experience in interior design solutions. In 2015, she started Interiors by McCoy, I like that, which offers a completion of carcass to fully finished furnished homes. She is about to dish out some decorating ideas for Christmas. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. We were just talking about the fact that, you know, we're in Lagos, and sometimes last year I went out, I said, oh, I'm going to go and get Christmas decorations. And by the time I spent like 22,000, I discovered that it wasn't much. And so a lot of people shy away from that because once you think about Christmas decorations, the first thing that comes to your mind is money. And, you know, so if you're going to do something really, really grand and nice, it has to be like 50 or 100,000. But you're saying it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly. There are lots of DIY, do-it-yourself online. I personally use the Advent calendar in my home. Now, Advent is a preparation of the birth of Jesus. So I use cardboard and I use markers and gums. Sometimes you can play with different colors of cardboard, just depending on what you want. If you want more colors in your space, then you can date them from December 1st to 25th of December and put it on an obvious wall in your home. There are so many of them. They even have Christmas balls are not just for the Christmas trees. You have to, you know, play around with things. You can put these Christmas balls on the centerpiece, put them and put sprinkles of glitters on it. You can put garlands around it, put candles. These are, you know, cheap and effective way to design your home for Christmas.
So let's talk about colors, because I think one of the challenges that we'll also talk about lights and some of the things that can easily become very expensive when it comes to budgets. Because I know that many families are thinking, okay, how do I create a balance among these things? You said one of the things to focus on is colors.
Yes.
When you're making choices.
Yes. First and foremost, you have to look at the existing colors in your sitting room or in your home. Now, if your home is already colorful, you do not want to go all out and, you know, too colorful. You have to choose probably something like this. You can use purple Christmas balls, ornaments on the green tree. You can use silver, you can use white, you know, something just to make it, you know, the synergy will flow in the whole room.
Okay, so really, really important. Then let's talk about budgets, because like I said, you know, after spending so much, I then discovered that you had this one thing that you could just put on the door, and then another thing. Then my wife was like, okay, so where did you, so all your 22,000, what did you spend it on? So when you're making a budget, so after maybe you've done the things that you can do by yourself in the house, what should you be thinking about, and what places should you go if you want to buy like Christmas ornaments and decorate?
Okay, I went to ShopRite sometime last week and I saw some very unique accessories.
Not too expensive.
Yes, you have to keep looking for unique accessories that, and you can, there are lots of stores. There's Lagos Island, if you're working on a budget. There's a place called Dosomu. You can go there, you get your Christmas items for very affordable price.
Okay, so when it comes to other things, the things that you can make by yourself, you talked about using cardboards. Are there any other materials that people can use if they're doing like proper DIYs for their homes?
Okay, you can also use a ribbon. You notice sometimes, and if you have a staircase in your home, some people just play around with ribbons and lights. And if you realize that probably your budget for the lights is way over the top, you can just use ribbons, and you can use these Christmas stockings you can put on your staircase. And garlands as well around your space.
So all those things
Yes.
would just work and
Yes.
give you that feel.
Yes.
Okay, so you talked about one of the things that you mentioned was if your house is already colorful, you want to use things that don't overpower,
loud.
and are not too loud. But then if your house is not too colorful, like maybe you have mostly grays and blacks in the living room, what should you be looking at?
Then you can go all out with colors. You can Christmas tree is like a combination of 3-4 colors. Usually the green and maybe 3 other colors. There are 2 main colors that should be put in your tree. And don't forget, while filling up your Christmas tree, fill the inner part of the Christmas tree, because you realize that sometimes your tree doesn't look like it should because it's not filled up properly. So it's very important for you to have that in mind.
So sometimes, like you watch all these Christmas movies and everything looks very nice and dandy and, the Christmas trees look very full. But when you then buy your own Nigerian Christmas tree, it does looks a bit a bit funny. So how do you make sure that the tree and the design and everything is fuller or as full as you see in pictures?
Sometimes the problem is you do not flap out the wings of your Christmas tree very well. So you have to flap it out. It works in the execution. You have to work on, bringing out those wings out appropriately, then placing them well. And of course, they have the steps. If you notice that they're not up to about 5 steps, do not get the tree, then it's not yes.
Okay, so then you just end up being a tiny tree.
Exactly.
And please don't buy trees in traffic because it's terrible. I remember a few years ago, I just said, we don't have a Christmas tree. It's 2 days before Christmas. I just bought one in traffic and it was terrible. Oh my
Exactly.
God. You could put it on the dining table. But there's something that you said which was instructive, using YouTube, going on YouTube and getting design ideas. So how effective is that for families, especially those on the budget?
It's effective because you can see a whole range of ideas in there. What works for me might not be what works for you. Personally, I use advent calendars, I use Christmas balls, I use paper decorations in my home, and it looks amazing. So you have to bring out the time and, look at what works for you and how you want your home to look like.
So there are people who say for bigger homes that you would probably need like a professional like you to hire a decorator to help in giving it a lot of boost, or maybe in an office. Would you also advise that?
You can do both sourcing items from the markets and from the stores, and you can also do some DIY.
Some DIY is
yes,
very
yourself,
important as well. You're talking about using paper. So when you say using paper, that means that you will actually do the cutting yourself.
Yes, you do the cutting yourself. You use rulers, and you cut and you mark the territory that you want to cut off.
So let's say you want to cut out like a bow, you then draw it out
exactly.
and then cut. So that's a lot of work.
Yes, and there are some shapes. Also, you can buy some shapes. There are so many shapes. There's the triangular, there's the love. So you can buy these shapes and use it to cut out just what you want.
So that will probably be, you probably will then need to go to like an art shop.
Exactly.
That sell art materials and paint and things like that. Okay, so it looks like it's a lot of work when you're talking about DIY. So probably getting the kids involved as well would also be nice to create some fun around it.
Yes.
Okay, really, really important.
Yeah, and children actually look forward to Christmas. So it's even a better way to engage them on the DIY. Do it yourself and, make them feel that, feeling of fun, excitement, Christmassy feeling. I think DIY works perfectly when you have children and you're a creative kind of person.
Wow, wow, this is very, very nice. Thank you so much, Anita, for joining us and for shedding some light in this dicey areas, because some people, you see a very nice picture, you try to recreate it in your home, and it just looks like it's not great. But thank you so much for shedding some light on that. Anyway, so we're heading over to the open space where we have a presentation, our first musical performance for this morning.
Thank you. Now I'm standing here with Abby White. He has a brand new single, and it's a eulogy to women, apparently. That's the song he's here to perform. He's been doing this for about 5 years now, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So he's a serial entrepreneur and artist, formerly known as Omokaro Ezekiel. Now, All I Want is the name of the track you're performing, am I right?
Yes,
okay.
You're right.
So you need to tell me a little bit about that song. Tell me about it.
Okay, it's about a wonderful, amazing woman in my life presently.
She's still in your life right now?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
So it's about just appreciating, recognizing It's amazing what she's about, what she brings to the
Beautiful.
table. Yeah, so much grace, so much growth.
Oh.
Yeah,
So is
much
this,
peace.
are you an Afro-pop artist? Are you an R&B artist? What sort of artist are you?
I would just say I'm a creative artist.
A creative artist.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
I don't like being boxed in.
Fantastic. Now, I'm loving that cap you have on. I have to
Thank
say,
you.
I'm a big Batman fan.
Same here.
And it's an interesting choice, but I'm going to let you get to your performance. Once again, Abby White with All I Want.
Thank you.
What's exciting, inspiring, that's lively, simply magic.
Yes, so a lot of interesting things have been going down in this kitchen. I have my chef skills already with Chef Yede.
You have to fail.
Now, wow.
You're just
We'll be best
stealing
friends
my
for 2
skills
seconds.
like
Next
this.
scene.
You have
Okay,
to
so
pay.
we put the spices, the seasoning in the rice that was already parboiled. And now, Chef
Pop
Yede,
in the
what are we
coconut
doing?
water.
Ooh. Are we going to mix that?
Yes. Go
We're gonna
on.
mix. Thank you.
Do it, assistant.
Oh, yes. I need my own chef cap or my chef apron. Okay,
Please.
so this water now, we don't need to add like normal water to this.
No, but you can just leave that one to cook a bit before we start adding normal water.
Okay.
Because it won't take long at all. You know it's already parboiled. So I don't need, I need the coconut water to cook it.
Okay.
So we can get the cover.
We can get the cover.
Yes, you know, yeah.
Let me get the cover. I think it's here.
So now we are trying to get the lollipop chicken together.
Yes, the lollipop chicken. Oh, I brought the wrong one. The lollipop chicken, you have to run through how that is achieved.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. So I just put a little line along my chicken, like that, like so.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cut it out.
So you put a line where?
Right here. So I'm shaving the down of my chicken like this to move it down.
Oh, so it makes like a real lollipop.
Yes.
Nice. So now you said you're going to marinate it, but how long are you going to keep it?
It's not going to take long at all.
Okay.
We're going to do it towards the ending of the cooking.
Okay.
So we have one.
So do we fry it?
Yes. We're going to pop it in the oil.
No, so this is done because the chicken is soft.
Mm-hmm.
You can't try this with local
No,
chicken.
you can't.
of course.
No, you can't.
Okay, so please, if you're doing this method, please don't use local chicken and say...
You can actually do
Chef
that,
Yede.
you know. When you remove it, it's going to take longer, though. When you remove this, you parboil your chicken for a
parboil it
bit
first,
and then bring it out and marinate it and turn it into whatever you want.
But I mean, to get the... Does this now have like a grilled kind of taste, or what does it come out like?
It's gonna taste like fried chicken.
Like fried chicken? Oh,
yes.
Cool. My chef game on fleek.
I still say you have to pay me.
Oh, please.
So this is something you can actually make when you're trying to have a party that is not really... You can do it with a little amount of money. You can just get it done, have your chicken turn into a lollipop. It's fancy as well. By the time you're done, it looks fancy. You can have a chicken wings party.
This makes us sound like we're not Nigerians. Chicken wings party.
Yeah.
And that would be a nice theme. Come dressed like a chicken.
Oh, God. You have to spoil it.
Okay, so we're going to marinate this with the normal seasonings.
Yes, that's the paprika, seasoning cubes, salt, my special spice, and some fresh minced garlic.
Okay, then when do you put the breadcrumbs?
After, when I'm about to fry it, I'm going to egg wash it. I'm going to put the flour, egg wash.
Come back, egg wash. Please
I'm going to put egg wash is basically something you do when you're trying to bake or cook something you're trying to fry. So if, for example, you're making this, I'll first put in the flour, then in the eggs before the breadcrumbs. So the flour is to seal every hole in the body. The egg is to make it a little bit juicy, and then you have the breadcrumbs to make it crunchy.
Okay.
So and then if you're baking bread, you just break your eggs, egg wash your bread on top of it before you put in the oil. And it gives it that really nice brown and nice texture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to use the flour, the eggs.
And then the breadcrumbs.
This Christmas, they will hear words. Hey. As in, so now I can own a fast food though. With all
Already?
This. Yes, no.
You are the best student I've had.
Okay, guys, I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. But now we're going to go and do our lollipopping while we have Titi have her interview with Ask Dams.
Okay, to say I'm not jealous of you right now, Tokwe, I'll be lying.
I know.
You're exposed to all that lollipop chicken?
Yeah,
Goodness
lollipops.
me. Nice one, Chef Yede. Now we have Adedamola Ladijobi here. Now she's a certified personal nutritionist and weight loss expert. She's the founder and CEO of Ask Dams, a weight loss management, health and wellness company. Now, we don't want you getting carried away with all the holiday food that's going to be coming your way. You're going to be coming in contact with it, so let's get set for it. She's here to talk about staying healthy this season, especially when it comes to stress. A lot of people get stressed out around the holidays. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. First of all, thanks for having me again.
Oh, you are.
Yes, a lot of people do get stressed during the holidays. And the truth of the matter is, in our everyday lives, with or without the holidays, you know, there's always going to be some sort of stress or the other. So we have to try to find different coping mechanisms. Now, stress differs. What may be stress to you, or what you may consider a stress, rather, I may not consider a stress. So, for example, just looking at the chef cooking and all of that, you know, I was like, I would like to eat the food. For me, the cooking would be the stress, but eating the food, that's what will bring me joy. So stress differs. Talking about the holiday season and coming back to the holiday season and then, you know, life in general, there is a hormone responsible for stress. Initially, in the olden days, you know, it would literally like help to replenish energy. You know, when our ancestors had to like fight wars and battles, and you know, they were just very active. You know, they had to go out to actually till the ground, and you know, kill their own animals, hunt for their animals and stuff like that. But these days, when we're stressed out, so they were able to have some sort of, you know, cortisol release. Okay. As opposed to these days, we are constantly stressed out, but we do not do any form of activity. The bulk of us are just sedentary, sitting down in one place. We are either on our phones, even our kids, either on our phones or our laptops, or just sitting down and thinking, oh God, why me, as opposed to, you know, looking for, you know, ways to de-stress. And talking about stress, really, it could swing both ways. So some people say, when I talk about stress, the first thing that comes to my mind is weight gain, because that's what happens for me.
Okay,
when I'm
so you're saying that people that are stressed out are more prone to gaining weight?
Yes, but it can swing both ways. So for some people, chronic stress can lead to weight loss. Okay. Because they have like extreme loss of appetite. They just don't even feel like eating in any shape or form. They develop some sort of anorexia. And then on the other hand, you have people like me who, when we're completely stressed out, we just want to eat all the time. So what cortisol does is that it makes you feel just very heavy, slows down your metabolism, makes you crave sugar uncontrollably. It makes you crave starchy foods. And what happens is that you find out that a lot of people who are stressed out actually gain the bulk of their weight in their abdominal region.
Okay.
Yes.
So people that you see with larger waistlines, they're likely stressed out.
Yes.
In their daily
mostly,
lives.
yes. So people with weight in their abdominal region, you know, stress is not the only thing. It could be different things. So for example, if I should go into something called a muscle gap separation, which is very common with pregnant women, that could be the major cause of belly fat. But for a lot of people, it's actually not being able to manage stress, and then they go into constant binging of starchy foods and sugary foods, because cortisol makes you crave starchy foods and sugar. And then you now gain it all in your abdominal region.
Okay, so I was reading up on this topic before, you know, we had this conversation, and I read that people that sleep more actually lose more weight. How true is this?
Okay, and I'd like you to do this experiment too, and I always challenge people to always do this experiment. If you sleep an average of 7 to 8 hours per night, okay, you realize that your appetite is under control, and even when you get hungry, you're able to manage your appetite more, and you crave sugar less. This is because, like I said last week, there are two hormones that are responsible for appetite regulation. One is leptin and the other one is ghrelin. Now, what happens is when you're not getting enough sleep, your body doesn't get enough chance to produce leptin. And so you have more ghrelin than leptin. And so even when you're not hungry, your body still thinks you're hungry. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. You're constantly hungry all the time.
Because you didn't sleep?
Yeah, because you didn't sleep properly, because you didn't have enough sleep. So even for me, like when the days that I don't get enough sleep rather, if I just get like 4 hours or 5 hours, I'm very cranky and I crave sugar the whole day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now obviously sugar and starchy foods are equal weight gain.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Could equal. So bad sources of sugar and excessive starchy
So you have to break that down.
Yes, no problem. So they're good sources of sugar. They're natural sources of sugar. So when I find out that I have this uncontrollable urge, maybe because I'm stressed out or because I haven't had enough sleep, my instinct is to turn to natural sources of sugar. And so I go for extremely sweet fruits. That's when you catch me with, a whole pack of grapes and I can sit down and finish it in one sitting.
Okay.
That's when you find me with pineapple or when mangoes are in season. Thank God agbalumo is in season too, and sweet ones from Ajashe, by the way. So that's the way, just to keep your sweet tooth under control. Then what I also do is that okay, so we're talking about sugars right now. I was going to go into another angle. So natural sources of sugar, your fruits are great sources of sugar. Dates, so I love zobo. I used to hate zobo when I was much younger, but now I love it. But I like sweet stuff. I actually don't like things that don't have like a nice sweet taste. So what I do during periods like that is that I have people who make zobo for me and they put like dates in it, like 100% dates, no source of refined sugar in it whatsoever.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now I've heard of dates as a sweetener before, but what about things like honey? Honey is more accessible to the average Nigerian. Is that a good source of sweetening?
Okay, so honey could be good if it is unadulterated. By the way, dates are cheaper than honey. You'd find the
goodness me.
Is the word, I don't want to use the wrong word on it, the abokis and the malams on the streets with the tiger nuts and the dates, and it's ridiculously cheap, very cheap, way cheaper than honey. Now, my problem with honey is that, or rather, let me first of all state that honey is amazing. It's an amazing source of sugar, natural sugar. However, what we have on a lot of our store shelves is adulterated honey, where they've added sugar in it. It's literally like fake honey, so you have to be able to discern the real from the fake. So know your source, one. It could be quite tricky. However, honey has double the amount of calories than sugar does.
Double the calories?
Yeah, pretty much double the calories than sugar does. White sugar, by the way. So some people say, I don't do sugar anymore. I only eat honey. I don't know why I'm not losing any weight. Duh, it's not rocket science. You're not losing weight because you're now consuming
more calories.
Exactly.
Because of the honey.
Exactly.
But it's still a healthier.
It's still a healthier, way healthier. You can't even compare. Honey beats sugar down health-wise. This brings me to my favorite tagline. This overfits famine. Because people think that, when you eat healthy, you automatically lose weight. There are a lot of healthy foods that can easily make you gain weight. Easily.
You know what? Ask them. We have so much to talk about, but thank you for highlighting the fact that, stress does make a lot of people gain weight and the reasons why that happens as well. We'll be talking again, hopefully next week.
Yeah, we need like a 3-hour session. Actually, yes, this is not enough.
But please hit us up on social media with our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Ask your questions and let's see if we can answer them online. We'll be taking a quick break. Wake Up Nigeria continues. Yes, indeed, we're still here because we're not done yet.
2 hours gone by and 45 minutes left to go. We have you covered. Of course, and lots of things going on down the whole studio right now.
Yeah.
There's this aroma in there because Chef Yede is in the building with Tokma in the kitchen. You guys, Everybody
They're
has their
making some-
eyes on you.
Yes, we are eyeing you guys. This lollipop chicken has
Yes.
What did you call it?
Lollipop chicken, right?
Yes.
Did you say lollipop chicken?
Yes, I said that.
Oh, wow, okay. Chef Yedi doesn't look too happy that I'm not in the kitchen.
Oh, wow, Yomi, really?
Yeah. Well, she's happy, but
Seriously?
not fully happy.
As in, I don't even know what to say about that. But that lollipop chicken is, yeah, it's going to be
Yes,
interesting.
we've marinated it, and it was really interesting to watch how she actually made the hole and pushed the chicken so you could actually see it in the lollipop form.
Oh, okay.
Very creative way to make your chickens this Christmas.
Yeah, we're looking forward to how it comes out eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody loves some chicken. Now, welcome back. We remain your best choice every morning before you start the day. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Ope. Watch us live right now, tvcentertainment.tv, and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments as soon as you can. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And of course, download that app. We keep talking about it every day because we need you to take advantage of this service. Now, we have it on Android and iOS. So as long as you have a mobile device, you can watch us live.
All right, let's go straight to the rest of the stuff that we have for you this morning. More music coming your way, this time from Lil Steve.
We on the go, so please turn on the light. Airplane mode, relaxing on the flight.
And then we move on to relationship with Oyidamola Shoder. And we'll be getting some tips on the best way to pull off a Christmas proposal. That might be interesting for someone. Somebody needs
Christmas
tips.
proposal. And finally, we have Emmanuel Ariborite, who is the current Mr. Universe Nigeria World.
Yes, he is. Yeah, so during this period is when schools start doing their Christmas parties and all that.
Oh, okay.
And man, the kids have just been on me about, when are we putting up the decorations? I'm like,
Oh, did you get? I mean, did you listen to the interview with the decorator? She was talking about a lot of DIYs.
Yeah.
So because there's this big challenge, if you're gonna buy a Christmas tree that is a proper Christmas tree that you would like, you're going to spend some good money.
Yes. So
Otherwise, you're just going to be buying things that look like strings at the end of the day.
I did some research. The cheapest one I found was like about 6 feet for about 12,000 naira.
Oh, that's not even expensive.
That's the cheapest one. But
Okay.
it looked very
and that's 6
lean.
feet. It looks lean, yeah.
It looked very
It's going to be
lean.
yeah.
And there was nothing on it. Nothing on it.
Just green.
Just green.
Yeah, because some of those ones, I used to think that, because I'd never bought a Christmas tree before, before like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So and every time I would see a large one, I would think, okay, well, maybe 20K, 25, until I got to the store and they were like, okay, so that one, the one that you really like is 70,000.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Crazy. But we'll get through it. We have to take the headlines in the news right now. Ibrahim, it's all yours.
Thanks, Titi. Now, residents of Remego, a town in Askira Uba local government area of Borno State, who fled their community out of fear, are gradually returning home. Suspected members of Boko Haram carrying rocket-propelled guns attacked the town on Tuesday evening, forcing residents to take refuge in nearby bushes. But the military challenged the invader and took control of the situation. It's not yet clear what the scale of violence is at this time, but a shopping complex and some homes are said to have been set ablaze by the fighters. Poor telecommunication service initially hindered communication with the affected community in Remego. 4 committees of the House of Representatives are to investigate the Department of State Services' alleged investigation of the Federal High Court last Friday. The resolution is equal to a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Minority Leader Ndudi Elumelu. The Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Judiciary and Human Rights are to conduct the probe and report back in 2 weeks.
The House aware that the version of the Federal High Court, Abuja, runs contrary to the avowed assurances of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The physical assaulting of Mr. Shore and his co-defendant Bakari by the yet to be identified persons inside the courtroom is the highest act of sacrilege against the judicial arm of government and a complete disrespect to the rule of law.
Meanwhile, a coalition of over 200 civil society organizations has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to release Mr. Ashore and other individuals being held without justification. They want President Muhammad Buhari to show commitment to the rule of law, face mass action, and civil disobedience. The CSOs issued the ultimatum in Abuja during a press conference on the state of the nation entitled Nigeria's Troubling State of Affairs. Hundreds of women have taken to the streets of Gombe to advocate against all forms of gender-based violence. The women were led by the wife of the Gombe State Governor, Asmao Inua Yahya, through the streets of the capital city to the State House of Assembly, where they made their demands to lawmakers. The case of a 2-year-old boy raped by his instructor is still fresh, and the outcry it's generated is still fresh as well. The wife of the Gombe State Governor is leading these women through the streets of Gombe, demanding an end to gender-based violence. They also seek the domestication of the Child Rights Act. They consider this piece of legislation as well as a wall of protection for the vulnerable, which will also help to prevent stigmatization. Gombe State records an average of 730 rape cases every year. And as the news update today on Wake Up Nigeria, stay tuned for weather.
Yes, it is time for music, and this time I have Stephen Osaigbovo, who is from Edo State, and he is signed to Lucky. He's signed to Lucky, really, right?
Lucky Records, right?
Lucky
Records.
Lucky Records. Okay, he is artistically known as Lil Steve. Now he will be performing Gravity. So why you Lil Steve?
Yeah, I got it for my mentor, right?
Your mentor?
Yeah, Weezy, like potentially Wayne.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
So I had to be Lil Steve.
Lil Steve. So how long have you been singing?
Like I said, man, I've been singing since when I was in the womb. But
Is
if
it
I
in
tell
your
you,
mouth?
yeah, because I can actually say I started from 12, 11, because I was very young. I didn't even know when I started music actually, but I just say I started from my
So when did you become a professional singer?
like when I was 11, I was very good. Like
Very good. No, but
like
like when
11,
did you release
12.
your first single?
Yeah, I was in my official track. I released it when I was 15.
15?
Yeah, that was
Oh.
Granite, right? Yeah.
The name of the song was Granite. Oh, that's interesting. Why Granite?
Yeah, Granite, because that is the kind of vibe they want to vibe to. Like, so I like Granite, song.
So, okay. So you're performing Gravity.
Yeah,
so
Gravity.
Tell us about Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity is a kind of, it's a kind of Niger kind of wave, because mostly I do trap.
Okay.
But right now you need to just put your style to what the industry fits in, like, so that's the kind of Afro type of level. So that's why I brought Gravity. Gravity dance, you want to get your hair, then you dance. Like, it's a kind of dance you hang in your hair, right?
Oh,
you just
okay.
hang. Gravity dance.
Oh, wow. I will learn that later. Okay.
So that's, I just brought it out. Gravity is a kind of dance, kind of Afro dance, or you say Afro dance, or like, that is it.
Dance.
Yeah,
So Gravity. Okay. So apart from Gravity, what other tracks have you
I
released?
got lots of tracks, actually. I just one is actually coming up, Zoom, right?
Okay.
This one, but my previous track, I have Shakara, I have my trap, The Truth, that's Truth, right?
Okay.
And I have the Gravity, and the one I did with Skills, Crazy, right?
Oh, you did with Scales.
yeah,
Now, how was that working with Scales?
Yeah, man, I wasn't.
No, you have to tell us about that. You have to tell us about that.
Okay, yeah, my experience with Skills, I just had some things because I don't want to go fully to the point. It was actually not really good,
It wasn't good.
Yeah,
Why?
it wasn't really good.
Because he's a celebrity and you're.
Actually, he stole my song.
He stole your song.
Of course.
What song was that?
That was a crazy deed, like.
The Crazy.
Yeah.
So you wrote it.
Yeah, it was my song. We did the song already, so he took the chorus to the studio.
Okay.
Then we did it. Then that's the song. Yeah, it's crazy.
So
crazy.
that was the song. So what did you do after that?
What?
You didn't
No,
approach
actually,
him?
my label wasn't actually formed then. So even though we bring up that case, nobody's gonna stand for me because they haven't registered the label then. So he's gonna win, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, so we just left it, and a lot of things like that, man. Like, I'll actually say, man, like, it was a bad experience, man.
Oh,
Imagine you're paying an artist for a suit to come for your video shoot. It was a jacket, like.
Oh, so you paid for the suit?
Yeah,
you were
with Didi,
supposed to
like,
wear.
yeah, with Didi. It came with a jacket, but anyways, I'll go back to the music level, man. We go blow past
Okay,
that
I'm
level
sure
now.
you will blow more than that
Yeah,
level.
that's it.
Okay, so now you're going to give us the Gravity.
All right,
And the
Gravity.
Gravity dance.
Yeah, Gravity, man.
I'm ready for this. Make sure you blow us away.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Just play the beat. I'm falling along, I'm balling along. Almost she did, shout, say she know for dance. Gravity long, man. I'm balling along, Almost she did, shout, say she know for dance. Gravity long.
Ah, well done. That's Lil Steve there, doing some great music and a good video as well. Very nice, very nice. Anyway, so it's time for our relationship. You know, Wednesdays are for that, and we talk about lots of things that have to do with marriage and your relationship as well. And Oyinda Shuderi is joining us this morning. She is a marriage counselor and mass communicator. The festive season is here, and it might not be a bad time to pop the question if you're trying to get married. Usually, typically in Nigeria, is the man that proposes to the woman. Sometimes, although those things are changing nowadays. Anyway, she's going to be giving us tips on how best to plan the best Christmas proposal. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
We don't have that much time, so let's begin from what not to do this Christmas period if you're planning a wedding proposal.
All right. The first thing I'd advise is don't rush into a proposal because it's a serious commitment. You're asking someone to marry you, you know, to start a journey with you. So don't just get caught up in the festive season and propose. Another thing I'd like to advise is don't just get to know her. You know, you could throw hints around and everything, so you spare yourself a refusal. You know, make sure you're on the same page marriage-wise, because she may like you. She may want to marry you in the future, just not now. So you have to, like, you know,
look for the signals to see whether
exactly, and make sure that you're on the same page. It may be a good idea also to find out what's going on with her family, bring them on board and let them know that, look, this is my intention. It just shows good manners, really, that I'd like to propose to your daughter and everything before you set the stage for the romantic proposal
that you want to do.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the things that you should do when it comes to, okay, I want to propose to her. Are we going to have a Christmas dinner? Am I going to buy flowers? Whatever it is that people do nowadays for such things.
You must study the person you're in a relationship with. Don't get caught up in social media and make it a production, a major show. If she's someone who likes something quiet and intimate, try and make it that for her if she's that type of person. If she's the type of person that shies away from crowds, don't go into a restaurant and then go on your knees. You may embarrass her, you understand? If she's someone who gets agitated by surprises, you can imagine taking her on a trip, say maybe to Ibadan, she's like already worked up before you get there. You know, you need to study the person you want to propose to and then do what suits the person's personality. So that you get the best response.
I always find that, especially in relationships, people always feel like they don't pay attention to such things. This kind of, people's personalities and all of that, they just want you to be a part of the culture of whatever is happening or whatever is trending. So now you're saying pay attention to what the other person is like.
You have to, because it's something that's supposed to be very memorable. It's something she's going to think on down the line, you know, the stories you're going to tell your children. Trends will come and go. So you can't even choose a trendy location, because a location that trends today may not trend in 5 years' time. Make it very intimate. Make it about both of you. Get a ring. The ring doesn't have to be expensive. It's just the gesture. But don't also get something that would tarnish, say, in 3 days. Save up for it, you know. If you're going to do a Christmas proposal, do it well. Another thing we advise is, if you're not sure she's going to say yes, be careful so that you don't spoil Christmas for yourself. Subsequent Christmas, you're like, oh, I remember the Christmas someone said no to me. So that's how, like, read all the cues.
So let's circle back to some of the things that you're saying, that, you know, it's a festive period. So you don't based on the emotions of the time, then go and do a quick proposal, and then maybe after that, then have proposal remorse. Should I have done that? Did I move too quickly, or did we move too quickly, and all of that? So what happens when you're in that kind of situation?
What do you mean? You've actually proposed during Christmas and then you have a rethink
or you have a rethink, or you have a remorse, or you think maybe you just felt so much pressure during that period and you had to do it.
Well, the beauty of it is proposal is not the actual marriage. So you still have time. And the fact that you've given an engagement ring doesn't mean you have to get married the next month. Just extend the time of the dating period or the courtship, like some people would call it, you understand? So that gives you time to reflect and be like, okay, Am I really sure? Or if there are things you need to put in place, you can still put them in place. So from the time you actually propose, you don't have to like get a church venue. You can now say, okay, look, I'm going to give this thing 6 months. I'm going to give it a year.
Because there's pressure, you know.
Yeah,
Once
it's a lot
you
of
propose,
pressure.
you know, the family are now saying, okay, do you have a date?
That's why I'm like, just throw all the feelers around. Her responses now will let you know, should I go ahead and propose, or should I just get her a Christmas gift and separate the two?
Do you propose when you are ready? Like, okay, I'm ready to get married within a short period of time. That's when I want to propose.
Well, it varies for different people. Some people propose because, okay, for example, if someone has to go abroad for masters or something, you want to make a commitment that, look, I'm coming back, or we're going to see this thing through. So it depends on the individual and their level of maturity. Some propose and they're fine waiting. Some propose and they actually have to get married, you know, like within a short period. So it depends on the motive initially and why you actually feel you need to get married to the person.
I have a few more questions, but we don't have, I think, time. Our time is far spent already. But thank you so much, Oyinda, for joining us. It's always a pleasure. All right, we're going to take a break now. And the show is not over yet. We have a handsome gentleman that's going to be joining Titi and Tope after this.
Welcome back. Emmanuel Arigborishe is here. Now, he was a real estate agent. He was a farmer and a medium-scale importer, exporter, before he emerged winner of the 2019-2020 Mr. Universe Nigeria World.
Now, the electrical engineering graduate has a pet project tagged the Cleaner Niger Project, with which he means to sensitize Nigeria on the dangers of a dirty environment. There's so much you're doing.
Yes, indeed.
You import, you're an electrical engineer, and you have a Cleaner Nigeria project. That's interesting.
Electrical engineering was what I studied in school.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming out of school, I went into business.
Okay.
Yeah,
straight away.
Yeah, straight away. I was actually doing business before, during school, and even before. So after school, I went into business.
Okay. Fully.
Yes.
So what happened to electrical engineering? Wasn't your dream to be an engineer?
It was what I studied in school.
Okay. Was that what your parents wanted?
It was what I wanted initially.
Okay. Your initial dreams.
My initial dreams.
And then the money hustle.
Yeah, the money also got me into what I am into now.
Okay, so now you mentioned business. We have to be clear on what sort of business you're doing.
What sort of
you
business
were doing
I was doing? I'm into real estate, and then I'm into medium importation, yes.
Medium importation of...
Yes.
You know where I'm going now. You're skirting the issue.
Of human hair, yes.
Now, so why did you pick interest in human hair?
Well, obviously, ladies, I mean, it's a booming business, and then I have people that go out and sell for me. So, yes. So I import them and then give it out
to your resellers. And then from there, you went on to Mr. Universe. Now, how did you hear about Mr. Universe? Nigeria.
I saw it online.
Okay.
I saw it online, and I decided to go for auditions, and luckily I was picked.
So would you say you're an adventurous person because you have a lot of...
I am. I try to put my hands in a lot of things. I mean, I'm young, so I should try to do everything I can do.
Okay.
It's within my powers to do before my time runs off.
Now, speaking of adventure, what is one wild adventure that you want to take off your list?
Adventure, skydiving.
Ooh, you want to do that?
Yes, okay. I want to.
Well, hopefully during the Mr. World, or rather Mr. Universe pageant, whichever country it is, maybe you'll have the opportunity to do that. Hopefully. But I have another question for you. So there was a picture in our highlights that made the guys on the set, you know, they started talking to us ladies in one kind of way. And it showed, you know,
I think I know what picture that is.
You know which picture that is, yeah?
Looking like a
So do you think you could show us the six-pack now?
I would rather not on live TV.
Okay, no, I'm just saying.
Maybe after.
Oh, you show off.
I had to ask.
I can't.
You have to shoot your shot.
Yeah. No, but it is a lot of pressure, putting on that kind of weight, having that kind of physique, and going for Mr. Universe. You know the kind of guys that go for these kind of pageants. Now, so what sort of preparations are you making to look even better? You're looking good, though, I have to say. You know, I'll say it again. You look very good. But for that pageant.
For the international pageant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a lot of exercises. It's a lot of work, that I'm putting on right now. I'm trying to start early. So I'm putting in a lot of work right now on my diets, on my exercises and stuff like that. Yes.
Now, do you have a support system in that area? Do you have someone you're working with?
I have a personal coach. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now there's the thing with male pageantry in Nigeria. I wouldn't say Africa, but in Nigeria, there's a thing that people like to term it with a type of sexuality. Now, how have you been able to manage that pressure from people wondering, okay, why is he going into male pageantry? Is there something about him we should know?
To be honest, I've heard that a lot.
Okay.
I wasn't into pageantry, yes. So I would not deny that fact that a lot of people actually say it that way. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean. So I wouldn't deny the fact that a lot of people actually see it that way. But everybody, it's not the same.
So you're saying that
Yeah.
in the course of the pageant, you were not approached by men to facilitate your winning?
No, I wasn't. Mr. Universe Nigeria, it's very different. It's
Okay.
not that way. No.
Okay, but after
I
winning
wasn't.
now, platforms like this expose you to people
Yeah.
and people in high places and low places as well. Have you now had have people approached you from outside the competition now, offering you money, offering you much more money than you've seen just for some form of relationship?
It depends on the kind of relationship
Men,
that
I'm
you mean.
speaking about.
Oh, you're speaking of men approaching me
approaching
for
you.
relationship.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you have
I've got maybe one or two. Well,
So how did you manage that?
how I managed it?
Yes.
Well, it's more being yourself, more being assertive, more knowing yourself and knowing what you can't do. Yes.
So let's take this to the international level. Imagine you get to the Mr. Universe and they tell you, you see, you have every chance of winning, but we just need you to swing this way.
No way.
Well, no way.
Why are you making your mind? Making a decision for him.
I'm still saying it's a lot of pressure.
You know, you'll be the
I
first
agree.
Nigerian.
Well, it's a
to
lot of
win
pressure,
Mr.
I agree,
Universe.
but that's off my limit.
Okay,
That's
that's
off my
something you
limit,
can't
yes.
do.
So
You know what?
it's something I
I
can't
want to
do.
ask. I want to ask about your relationships here in Nigeria. So now, being a businessman before the pageant and all, you probably had some chicas on your arm before you went for the pageant.
Yeah.
Did you have a relationship before, and how has it affected you so far?
I have a relationship before. I've been into relationships before.
Okay.
But currently, I'm not into any relationship.
Oh, was it the pageant that caused that?
Oh, you didn't give her hair?
It's not that. It's not, I do give her hair, yeah.
Let me date you.
Hair. You said hair. Yes, hair. Okay.
Yeah, I do give her hair. So it's not that. It's just about what, how would I put it, what we need, you understand?
At this time?
Yes, at this time it's quite different. So we decided to just, yes.
Go on a break.
All right then.
Are you going on a break and coming back? Or the fame has started getting to you?
No
And the
fame.
money. I'm just asking. I mean, it's pageant kings now. Your DMs, everybody be sliding in.
Well, yeah,
I just feel like
not
this your
the
girlfriend
fame.
is
I'm
old.
not. No. I'm not like that.
You need new
I think
blood.
We want different things at this
Okay.
point of our lives. Yeah,
Okay.
so I think it's better for us to just take a break and look elsewhere and see
Oh, wow.
how that goes.
And good luck with all your endeavors.
And we will be
on this.
looking to see you at
Thank
Mr.
you.
Universe.
And keep working that body. Amazing body, by the way.
Wow, to see
thank you
you
very
had
much.
to
Keep
put
working it.
You had
Thank
to
you.
put
But
it
very
there.
I've
much.
seen the
Thank you.
competition, so
I know. I've seen
Don't
some too,
worry,
and I'm
I
actually.
trust you.
Oh,
let's
thank you
head
very
to the
much.
kitchen, guys. Let's head
We
to the
have
kitchen.
breakfast for you.
Oh, I
Chef
can't wait.
Amy
I
has
can't wait.
been hard at work.
I've been seeing it. I can't
You
wait.
have, right?
Yeah, it's.
All right then. That's for you.
Hey guys, how you doing, man?
Very good.
Nice to meet you. Please have a seat over there. And
Hi.
well, Tokwe and Chef Yedi have been in the kitchen.
Yeah, so
I'm just
and
helping
Chef
out,
Yede-
just to clean up.
Chef,
We really didn't ask you, but I mean,
Yede,
you could
Chef
just
Yede.
you could just do it.
You didn't ask me.
We didn't ask you because this is your plan to get Yede back, but I'm just gonna ignore
my
you.
God.
So I and Chef Yede made this delicious traditional coconut rice. But Chef Yede will just give us a quick run through on how we achieved this.
All right, so we have a jollof coconut rice. We have a coconut lollipop, and then we also have a coconut spicy sweet sauce. Some heritage carrots.
Looks very nice. I like the colors.
Heritage carrots. That's rainbow carrots, so it has different colors.
Oh, right.
It's also called heritage carrots.
So different colors. So I'm seeing a yellow. Is this a yellow carrot?
A yellow carrot and an orange, a purple carrot.
Yeah, there's a purple
I
carrot.
saw a black carrot in there too.
Where do you get those from?
All right.
From Delhi
Coconut.
on the island.
quite different from what I'm used to.
Please have a taste and let us
So
know
you
what
have
you
to
think.
give us a
While he's having a taste, I have a question for you. Yomi, did you ever go for any pageants?
Oh, no, I never
You
did.
didn't?
So you just...
Why didn't you?
But you used to model though, right?
No, I did.
You never did? You sure? How is the food?
How is it?
It's very tasty. Very, very nice. It's different from the kind of coconut rice I know, but this is very nice.
Thank you. Chef Yende, there you have it.
My mom is a caterer and she does great coconut rice.
Yeah. But then, your mom shouldn't hear this.
But my mom is better. I haven't had
nice one.
I haven't had
stay.
jollof coconut before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is nice.
My
It's
mom is
very
better.
nice.
He added that.
Very
We
nice.
all know why he added that.
You remembered what his mom would say. So created a good balance.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, well done, chef.
Thank you.
Nice one. Doing this again.
Yeah. That's
A big thank you to all our friends for joining us this morning. And well done.
Please eat. Now, we have to say a big thank you to our friends at Kogi for the kitchen accessories. Thank you to Chef Yede for amazing meals.
Thank you.
Always, thanks to all our guests. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Now,
Ciao.
what is next, y'all?